Okay, so we're in bed. The day is done. We've left the vlog until the last minute, and we're going to hopefully get this all taken care of very quickly so I can get some important shut eye.
Before your
Before,
6:25 start tomorrow.
no, 6:20 now.
Oh, it's getting worse, not
It
better.
is getting worse. I have to make her breakfast now because she can't put it together to do that herself. So here we are in bed. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, we had a lot of questions about the foreshadowing you said last time from about the second birth drama.
Oh, the second birth drama. That was a drama.
It was actually more long drawn out drama. Do you want to share about that?
Do I want to share about that?
Well, I can share about that.
Well, I guess it all. Well, what is the conception point for that drama? Because we could start in a number of different places.
Well, I think the first shock came when I was a week out from my due date, and we got a 30-day eviction notice.
We did. I think it was actually less than a week out. I think it was actually maybe during that week.
Maybe it was during that week. Why did you want to start before? As to
No,
why
no,
we
no,
got the eviction notice?
no.
They said it was because they had family members moving in.
They did. That old story. That old chestnut.
But I was adamant that I wanted to move immediately so that we were in our place before I gave birth, which gave us, instead of 30 days, gave us about 5 days, as I recall.
Which sounded like such a bad idea, but never come between about to conceive woman.
Conceive?
I mean, no matter. See how tired I am? About to give birth woman and her need to have a nest of some certain permanency.
Well, we found it.
I don't know. I don't even know how we managed to pull that off. And it wasn't the nicest of domiciles either, shall we say?
That was probably the mistake, because we rushed it a bit.
We did.
But we moved in, and then the next day, I went into labor.
Yeah, you went into labor, and in a way that it was surprisingly laissez-faire you were about this labor.
Well, this is what happened. The first time when we were in the car accident on the way to the hospital, we were there for about 12 hours before I actually gave birth. And so the second time, and I didn't realize, but probably being in the car accident slowed the whole process down. But the second time, I thought, I don't want to wait 12 hours in a hospital just because I'm having contractions. So I didn't want to rush over there.
And I kept saying to you, we should go to the hospital. And you kept saying, no, it's fine. I'm not going to the hospital. And this went on for some significant amount of time. And then I think actually we went over, you got bored or something, and then you wanted to go over to a friend's house.
No, I wanted to go to lunch. We were going out to lunch.
Yeah.
And then when we were on our way to lunch, I said, actually, I don't feel that good. So then we went over to a friend's house.
Why did we go over to a friend's house?
I think they were going to look after Kasha for us.
Okay, yeah, no, it's all coming back to me now.
So
but I do remember keep telling you that we had to go to the hospital, and you kept saying, no, it's fine.
It's true. And then eventually you convinced me to go.
Then eventually I convinced you to go, and then we get there. You're still very laissez-faire about the whole thing. We get into a cubicle. A nurse finally turns up, and I guess checks the dilation. Is that what they do?
Dilation?
Is that the appropriate term?
That is the appropriate, but I don't think that's accurate.
Well, anyway, whatever they did, she freaked out and said, "You're about to give birth at any second."
I don't remember that.
Oh, actually, no. Actually, I'm getting this I've somehow got this story wrong.
You have.
Because in actual fact, Well, anyway, maybe
No,
she did.
this
No,
is
she did do that. She did do
stop.
that, and then you had to get up or something, or you got off the bed, and you started pushing, and she started insisting that you stop doing that, and you were suddenly, in my mind, you were pushing quite violently. So, in response to her saying no, 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 I actually put my hands between your legs because I was worried the baby was going to fall out and drop on the floor.
What I don't
Which, in
remember.
retrospect, is quite a comical image to reflect upon.
What I remember is that I don't even remember the nurse, but what I remember is I had just had that incredible urge to push that I couldn't stop. And you just looked at me and just like put your hands underneath me like you were catching a football, a rugby ball.
Like I was a quarterback or
Yes.
something. I know.
But that wasn't the drama.
That wasn't the drama, no. That was actually
Quite
quite
calm.
tame in comparison.
So then, because it was all so rushed, the doctor wasn't there, and so the nurse was trying to make me wait, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to wait. So they ended up getting another doctor, and it wasn't my main doctor. And that, whereas last time we were in the hospital for about 12 hours, this time we're in the hospital for about 45 minutes.
And I think we were. I think you gave birth within the space of 45 minutes.
I think that's from the elevator up to
No, it was.
room.
It was crazy.
And all of that was actually fine. But then afterwards, I started to have really intense pain, and I knew something was wrong.
Yeah, you had intense pain, and then from my vantage point on the other side of the room, I knew something was up when doctors, white coats, and nurses, and all manner of all sorts of staff just suddenly descended upon the ward, and had very somber and serious expressions on their face, and things were obviously awry. And then there was whatever that bleepy machine is. What is the bleepy machine? This bleepy machine.
The heart monitor?
The heart monitor. Is it an EKG?
I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, they were all looking at that, and there was a source of great concern. And they actually asked me a nurse asked me to step out for a second. Didn't she?
That was later on. It went on for several hours, it seemed, or I don't know, at least a couple hours where I was just going downhill before sort of that whole everyone descended on us.
It's coming back to me now. The nurse didn't ask me to step out at that point. She asked me to step out after the doctor arrived, and obviously had to do some surgery.
Yeah.
And but prior to that, you grabbed me by the hand and said that what did you say? I don't want to die?
No, I said
I'm scared I'm going to die.
I'm really scared of dying, is what I said.
And then I said to you, you're not going to die. And then you got really mad at me.
I said, don't tell me I'm not going to die.
Which should have been a good indication to me that you're obviously not going to die. The fact that you get so mad at me. But it was quite a shock. But I responded in a what shall we say, a satisfactory way as far as you were concerned.
What do you mean?
Because after that I said, well, I hear that you think you're going to die, or words to that effect, or I just suddenly got myself into a space where I felt like I could try and hear what you were saying and reflect that back to you, rather than negate your concerns. And I guess that's what's coming up for me now, is that there was a typical example of how me as a man, or as a typical man, I imagine, would want to try and fix the situation. Also, like, obviously, there's nothing I could do to fix the situation because I'm not a doctor, but to try and rush in to make you feel better by trying to sort of insist that you're all right, without really like taking into consideration how you were feeling, because you wanted me to be able to understand how you were feeling, rather than say, oh, you're not going to die, you're going to be fine.
Right. I wasn't feeling fine.
You weren't feeling fine.
But, I mean, we didn't quite know how that was going to turn out, but the likelihood of me sort of being okay seemed to be in the fact that I was not, I was still able to get mad at you.
You are.
But that if if you could just see that it was okay for me to be scared in that moment, that would have felt good.
Yeah, and I guess, at the end of the day, for me, in that moment, I was scared, and that was the only way that I could see. I couldn't even fathom that, that things were going to be getting that much out of control. So I wanted to sort of be in. Maybe there was a part of me just wanted to be in denial how serious things were. Or I don't know why I said that. It just seemed like the obvious
Well, I know
default thing to say in that
now.
moment.
Now I know you're trying to make me feel better.
Yeah,
At the time, I wasn't able to see that,
yeah,
and fortunately, it was fine, and it wasn't actually as. I mean, I did hemorrhage, but it wasn't that. Obviously, they were able to handle it, so thank goodness I'm here.
or sew you up, as the case may be.
Thank goodness. Also, thank goodness you had your way, and we didn't have a home birth.
Oh my God, that's the other important thing is that there's no way I was going to have a home birth, and Rohini was so set on that. And thank goodness we didn't. There was the number one reason why you wouldn't go that route.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you'd be dead by now. You would have died if we did that at home.
We don't know that, but
Well, I don't think you would have
I'm
been
glad.
close to it.
I'm glad that we. I'm glad that I listened to you.
That my wisdom prevailed,
It did.
and you were able to listen to it.
I did. All right. Well, I think we should go to sleep, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. That'd be good. Nighty night.
Good night, everyone, or good morning.
Good morning. Good
Bye.
evening. Hello.
Have a good
Goodbye.
weekend.